Something else that's true is that too much time staring at a cell phone can lead to delayed cognitive development for children. It will also lead to depression and self-harm. Those are just a few of the perils that kids face when they have access to their own cell phones, which are the portal through which they experience social media. There are many studies on this, and all of them show that increased use of the iPhone and smartphones like it make kids sadder, slower, more isolated. They're also tied to depression and suicide risk. In a feature last week, we suggested one obvious solution that somehow seems crazy, but why would it be crazy? Congress should ban smartphones for kids. They banned cigarettes and alcohol. Why wouldn't they do this? Radio host Amy Peikoff didn't like that message. She texted us and says, I want to respond. So because we're her fans, we said, of course you can respond, Amy, though you're still wrong. Great to see you. So I guess it's really simple. Look, I know you're a libertarian and an orthodox one, not an attack on you. You're consistent. But if you accept that a society can regulate the behavior of children because they're not adults and they're not able to make adult decisions, and so we can keep kids from buying Marlboros at 15 or buying a 12-pack of malt liquor, why can't we keep them from hurting themselves with smartphones?
Okay, now, first of all, you are assuming that I agree with those existing laws on the book. I don't necessarily, but so now listen. Now you can draw a distinction, though, Tucker. Don't laugh.
Wait.
Don't laugh. Don't laugh. Let me even give you a distinction.
I'm laughing out of affection. I just love libertarians are hilarious. The more you push. So you're saying that like an 8-year-old should be able to buy a deck of cigarettes?
We are principled, Tucker. We are not hilarious. We are principled.
Okay.
So you could draw a distinction between those two because you're talking about physical substances. And right. I might say very, sort of in a rights-based theory way that maybe youths are not capable of making a contract for something that is going to do them physical harm. But here, again, it's very important when we talk about government to make sure that government is operating on a principle of individual rights, which means the right to be free from physical harm. And so if you're going to talk about government getting involved or stepping in, I would look for evidence of some sort of actual physical harm. I think, Tucker, if you want to look at government and what it should do to improve kids.
No one has ever died of an overdose of LSD. But it's clear that if you were to take a huge quantity of LSD, the chances you become schizophrenic are much higher. I mean, we know this. So there's no physical harm, but you can scramble someone's brain with this drug.
But there's a physical substance entering your body. But let's stand point, right? Okay, so let's assume that cell phones are potentially detrimental. You talked about the issue of high use, and you mentioned in particular the app Facebook. Of course, high levels of use in Facebook are things that are easily avoided. I don't even think the cool kids go on Facebook. But think about this. Do we really want government more involved in raising our children? As it is, government is harming our children because we have government schools based on progressive education, and I would look to them for youth unhappiness, the unhappiness among our kids. I would look to progressive education way more than cell phones.
You may be right. You may be right. But hold on.
And if you're going to ban something, why not ban sugar, for example?
Well,
sugar does detrimental physical harm.
By the way, I think that's something worth talking about. In other words, why are we standing back?
I don't think it is. I disagree with banning sugar. I think that all of these decisions should be left to the parents unless you could show that a decision made by the parents to allow a kid to do something or do something to a kid is abuse. And you'd really, in order to have objective law, want it to be physical abuse.
I think we're getting to that. Amy Peikoff, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks for letting me talk. Bye.